Welcome to the 7th lesson of the DevOps course. In this lesson we will learn about the 6th stage of DevOps, which is deployment. The key tenets of the deployment stage include continuous integration and continuous deployment, CI/CD. This involves automating the process of building, testing, and deploying code to production in a seamless and continuous manner. By automating these processes, organizations can ensure faster time to market and higher quality software. Infrastructure as code. This involves treating infrastructure as code, meaning that the infrastructure configuration is defined in code and stored in version control, just like application code. This enables automated provisioning of infrastructure and promotes consistency and repeatability. Monitoring and observability. This involves setting up monitoring and observability tools and agents as part of the deployment to ensure that the software is performing well in production and any issues can be quickly identified and resolved. Rollback and roll forward. This involves having a well-defined rollback and roll-forward strategy in place to revert back to the previous version of the software in case of any issues or errors during deployment. Security and compliance. This involves ensuring that the software is deployed in a secure and compliant manner, adhering to industry standards and regulations. The key tenets of the deployment stage in the DevOps life cycle involve automating the deployment process, ensuring infrastructure consistency, monitoring and observability, having a robust rollback and roll-forward strategy, and ensuring security and compliance. The deployment stage in the DevOps life cycle involves the actual release of software to production. The process of the deployment stage typically involves the following steps. Build and test. The deployment process starts with building and testing the code to ensure that it meets the necessary quality and performance standards. This involves compiling the code, running unit tests, integration tests, and other types of tests to verify that the code is ready for deployment. Configuration management. Once the code has been built and tested, the next step is to manage the configuration of the deployment environment. This involves configuring the necessary infrastructure resources, such as virtual machines, networks, and storage, to support the deployment. Deploy to staging. After configuring the deployment environment, the next step is to deploy the software to a staging environment. The staging environment is typically a replica of the production environment, where the software can be tested before releasing it to production. Testing and staging. Once the software has been deployed to the staging environment, it is tested to ensure that it meets the necessary quality and performance standards. This involves running functional tests, performance tests, and other types of tests to verify that the software is stable and performs well. Approval. After the software has been tested in the staging environment, it is reviewed and approved by stakeholders, such as product owners and business leaders, to ensure that it meets the necessary business requirements. Release to production. After the software has been approved, it is released to production. This involves deploying the software to the production environment and making it available to end users. The deployment stage in the DevOps life cycle involves a structured and repeatable process for releasing software to production, while ensuring that it meets the necessary quality and performance standards. Infrastructure as code is a critical aspect of the deployment stage in the DevOps life cycle. Let us review the tools available. Terraform is an open-source tool developed by HashiCorp that enables the creation and management of infrastructure resources, such as virtual machines, storage, and networks, in a declarative and version-controlled manner. CloudBolt is an infrastructure as code platform that enables easy deployment and management of hybrid cloud environments. Ansible is an open-source configuration management and automation tool that allows users to define infrastructure as code in a simple and easy-to-understand language called YAML. Chef is another open-source configuration management and automation tool that enables the creation and management of infrastructure resources in a declarative and version-controlled manner. Puppet is a configuration management tool that enables the creation and management of infrastructure resources using a declarative language called Puppet DSL. These are some of the infrastructure as code tools that can help organizations manage infrastructure as code, which enables teams to version, manage, and deploy infrastructure in a consistent, repeatable, and scalable manner. You have successfully completed Lesson 7 of the DevOps course. In the next lesson we will deep dive into the 7th and the 8th stages of the DevOps life cycle.